Okay, so I don't usually do product review videos, but I felt I needed to make this video to help talk about more things that this gimbal offers than I was able to find out from their website and even the information that was already out there on YouTube. So the way that I use gimbals is maybe a little different than most people, but maybe this will help you learn more about what this gimbal is capable of. So I've used a lot of different gimbals throughout the years. The KMTV 7800 was the first gimbal I ever started with, and then I had the Single, the Optimus, the Argo, I had the Ronin M. I liked a lot of things about all of them, but nothing really checked all the boxes that I was looking for as a shooter. So this one pretty much does. So I wanted to cover everything that I love about this gimbal. So first was the motor power. The motors are amazing. It's got plenty of power to handle the GH5 with the Rokinon sign lenses, the A7S with the Rokinon signs. Where I really seen the motor shine is using the GH5 with the Canon 16-35 lens with the Metabones adapter out of a cop car window on the UP Honor flight, filming the procession, and we were going probably 40 miles an hour or so and facing forward and backwards out the window with the wind directly hitting it, and it was not budging that heavy camera load, and it was just a smooth, solid shot. So I'm primarily a GH5 shooter now. I have the A7S II as well. So I do switch a lot between camera systems, and the other biggest thing other than the motor power that I loved about this gimbal was that you can put your own plate on it. So I've been switching to the Arca Swiss system pretty much on everything now. So all of my tripods, I have a little Arca Swiss mount on them. And so all my plates are Arca Swiss. And I used to have all Manfrottos, and I had these Manfrotto plates and everything, and I would adapt everything to match these. But these plates are so much bigger and heavier, and this could probably support a Manfrotto system on it if you did really want to do that, but I went into Arca Swiss. So what I love about Arca Swiss is their mounts are so cheap. The plates and these adapters and everything compared to everything else out there, and I actually think they work the best out of everybody. So this adapter plate is called the FotoPanda on eBay, and I tried a couple other lever ones like this, and this is definitely the most solid one. It's a little more expensive than some of the other ones. It was like 36 bucks, but for me it was just the gimbal that I needed this for. So it has two modes where it locks all the way out, it goes halfway, and it completely locks. So then I can come from a setup like this where I have in like interview mode, I take my GH5 off, I can just slide it right in here, and pretty much I know by finger like right where it needs to balance, and that was way off. So typically when you're mounting Arca Swiss, you have it the other way, but I actually have all my Arca Swisses just mounted sideways now because all my plates are on this way on all my different cameras. So say I want to go from shooting with the GH5 to shooting with the A7S II, I could just take that off. I grab my A7S II, which has the cheap Arca Swiss mounts right on there, and I can actually just slide that right in there. And this is, since it's weighted a little different than the GH5, I have to slide it out just a little bit there to be balanced, and there she is. So it's like it's that quick to be able to switch camera systems, where normally you'd have to take the plate off, and for me that was just huge that I could do this with a gimbal like this. So their QR system is actually pretty easy to get off because it's just really sandwiched onto this bottom piece with this bolt that goes through the bottom and just screws into their thing. So it really just separates off, and you can see that their QR plate is drastically different than anything out there. So to get the Arca Swiss mount on here, I had to just go to the hardware store. I happened to just go to Ace, and I picked up one of these M6 bolts, it's called, and I think I got 3/4 length. I'm not positive the actual length I got here, and I got a wing nut for the bottom. So, and I actually had to put the 5/8 adapter in there so that the bolt wouldn't go through, because I couldn't put a washer in here without it being able to slide, and the bolt head would actually be sticking out the top. So this actually worked out perfect, and then I can actually just release this to slide it back and forth on here for any of that side adjustment, and it just locks right on there really easily. The other thing actually that was kind of a bonus was actually being able to see the screen a lot better than having the motor in the front. And actually I'm debating getting the EVA1, so if I get that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to mount that on here with their optional lower thing, because it can extend back further. So even if I have to kind of shoot it a little off and I can't do the full motion, I can still be able to get it on here, and the motors have enough power. So with other typical gimbal systems that have the motor in the back here, I don't think you definitely couldn't do something like that. You're so much more limited when that motor's in the way. You can even put the 70-200 lens on and shoot with that, which would be kind of crazy to shoot. So then the other thing that I couldn't find out from their website that I love that it has the ability to do is have a changeable battery system. So a lot of times these ones that got the battery in the handle, you can't actually change that battery, but this is actually pretty easy to change that. So you can, there's 2 bolts on the bottom that you can actually do with your finger. So you just you unscrew that one. I just keep one in there because it's plenty to hold that in there. And then it's this nice metal plate just pops off here, and then you can get at the battery right here. And so they actually sell separate batteries for it that come, they're really feather light, and they come with their own charger cord. So you can charge this battery up while you're using the gimbal with their separate thing. And this is the same charger that comes with the gimbal. So you actually have 2 chargers then in case you lose one, but you can charge twice at once. And then to take the battery out, it actually just falls out of here. You have to wiggle a little bit, and the connectors, they just touch in there. So you just put the cover back on and you're good to go. And you got another 10 hours of use. So the other thing I loved is how quick it actually turns on. So it's just a push of this lever forward and it instantly turns on from that. So the difference of that to a lot of the other style is the batteries you have to push and hold it and push, and it's like 4 to 5 seconds or something to turn on. And so this is like a lot more instant. The other thing I really like about this is it comes with this tactical grip arm thing. So normally that comes with a piece that goes around your hand and kind of holds that on. I actually took that off because it was kind of hard to get my hand in there. But what I really like about it is I leave this kind of initial mount thing on, and then I can take the arm and it just screws onto here, and it's got a little nub that holds it from pivoting. So it's really quick to get that arm on there, so you can have things mounted on here that are ready to go, or separately, and you can take that off if you don't need those. For one of my shoots, I actually do Facebook Live feeds from my phone, as well as shooting with my camera. So I put on, I have the Zhiyun Crane Smooth Q, and I have a Note 8 that I put on here, and so then I can do Facebook Lives right from here, and then I can also shoot with my camera, and so then it's got 2 grips then too, and it makes it a lot easier when you got all that weight to use both your hands to shoot with. So one of the other things I like about how quick this tactical grip works is, with this whole system mounted like this, and I had my phone on here and everything, I would be able to take this right off here, and I use these Optech strap mount system things. And so you can just clip that in and keep this on you, and I had my phone right on here, so then if I needed to go Facebook Live, I could just pop this off, or I could even just go like this until I have it on and then just pop it off of me, or just keep it that close to me. And it's really handy for that. The other thing that I like about the way this works is it's also it keeps this 1/4-20 bolt in there ready to turn on, because I also used the Rode VideoMic Pro, the new one. I put an adapter inside of here for going from the 5/8 to the 1/4-20, and so then I can just screw that right onto that mount when that's not on there, and then the Rode mic, so it's that quick. So I can just pop that on and I'm ready to go with the mic on there. So then, unlike a lot of the double arm ones, some of those they've got their racks for, and a lot of times I'm in locations where I can't be, I gotta be just setting that kind of gimbal on the ground, because I can't haul around a little rack to hold it. So I put the Arca Swiss mount plates on the bottom of here. So then I carry around these smaller things where I can just quickly throw that on there or keep it on. And then it's got the smaller one if I don't want a lot of weight added to it, so then I can still set it down when I need to. And so what I've also found is these newer tripods on eBay are like 50 bucks, and they're pretty light. They're actually not too much heavier than some of those beefier kind of just tiny little tripods. So then you got this kind of full tripod where you can expand it down. But then I've also shot, instead of just going one-handed, because a lot of times my arm gets pretty sore with these long shoots, is I can do 2 hands with these, and sometimes I'll just collapse the legs down and just shoot with it. And so then you can actually get above your head shots, and it's nice to kind of have that extension on there. And I've used that to like get the camera out further into places. And so I love to be able to mount to a tripod like that and extend those down, and it creates like a little jib. So one of the last things I really like about this gimbal is that its compact size allows it to fit in small areas of bags. So one other thing not really related to the gimbal itself, but is operating the camera and the powering of the camera, I was able to actually talk with this company, Indipro tools, and they made these custom cables for me for the GH5s that could go to the D-tap and run off their batteries. So I'm able to power the GH5 on the gimbal and keep the vmount battery off of here, the weight of it, when I'm shooting that many hours, and keep it on me. And sometimes I'm shooting in the winter where the battery dies a lot quicker on here when it's out in the cold on the camera. So I like to be able to keep this inside my jacket, and I can run a cord out to the camera. So you can use the gimbal without, this doesn't really resist hardly at all and hangs down and out of the way, and it's not in the way of very much of the operation of the gimbal. So yeah, so I basically wanted to make this video to talk about those features of the Nebula 5100 Slant that I wasn't able to really find anywhere else on the web.